towards the end, he ended up getting a 70-game win streak. In literally like right across.
This guy doesn't need warm-ups. What's he doing right now?
You never know, man. You never know. It's called consistency.
He's saying something.
I read his lips. He said consistency. Then he winked at you, James. I saw the whole thing.
Good lip reading right there, dude. I definitely could not see what he was saying there, but as you can see over here, going up against Nuckleduck, and Nuckleduck feeling right at home with that Guile. And you know, during the beta, a lot of people talking about how strong Guile was.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot to be talked about in regards to the control that he has, right? Sonic Boom's really set the pace, and despite having a new mechanic in Street Fighter 6 with Drive Impact, that's not necessarily going to be like the end-all be-all in at least, you know, gaining the ground offensively.
Yeah, and another thing too, you know, I talked about this, like Street Fighter 2, Guile, this is the closest to Street Fighter 2 Guile I think that we've fought in a while, because projectiles I feel like are strongest in this game outside of 2 from like all of the Street Fighters, right?
I just realized I could hear my own commentary in the game. like, what?
Dude, you gotta tell Alex to turn us both on while we're commentating. So
I mean, we could.
As confusing as possible.
We definitely could. It's not about us, James. It's about this combo. Okay, so the reason why that one kind of goes upwards for those that are kind of, you know, fans of the series and have seen kind of like the supers that come out of Guile. This one is more of like a combo extender that is executed with the heavy punch version that knocks him up into the air a little bit more. Yeah, you do get a follow-up if you're close enough. If you're in the corner, you're definitely getting like an EX flash kick if need be.
Yeah, but it's really interesting because even between beta number 1 and beta number 2, they actually changed a few small things. Like the main things that they changed were to make the projectile stronger. You know,
in terms of like getting rid of like projectile invulnerability.
The parries, yeah, that was one of them. The drive parries. Now, when you drive parry a projectile, it's a zero sum on your drive gauge as well. So, you know, they were trying to make sure that you just didn't sit there and drive parry things all the time.
That I didn't know.
Yeah. And so you can't just sit there and drive parry Guile Sonic Boom all day, which makes me sad.
I mean, Guile, you could try. You could at least perfect parry it still.
Yeah. I mean, the one cool thing is that if Guile activates Super 2 and throws like the 5 Sonic Booms in a row, if you drive parry that, the first fireball gives you the zero sum, but then the rest of them actually add up to it. So you can kind of nullify that aspect of it.
Depending on the speed of it, right?
Yeah.
And so this is one of the things that I do like to see about Chun-Li is her versatility in the game. I want to know what exactly she's going to be doing to get past some of the fireball games, throwing fireballs of her own to kind of dissuade Nuckleduck from throwing more. But the more you block Nuckleduck's fireballs, the more you're going to get eventually, right?
Yeah. Alex Myers with the fist pump over there.
He popped off for that one. He's like, oh, I actually got to outplay you in a fireball game? Fireball war? That's actually pretty good. Yeah. I saw a little smirk on Nuckleduck's face as well, a little bit through the mask. Yeah, he was happy about it.
I see him shaking his head at you right now.
He was okay about it. But yeah, I think this is a classic showdown, right? Guile versus Chun-Li. In 6, there's a lot to really consider, right? We talked about Guile being such a presence in neutral, having so much threat around the Sonic Boom game, and even just his normal placements, right? It can lead to so much. He gets a knockdown, he can apply pressure with Drive Rush. There's just so much to really grasp when it comes to Guile offensively, right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I saw during beta number 2, like there was like 4 tournaments that people
in a single weekend,
Yeah, and one of the things that I saw from a lot of the Guile players was throwing a light boom. Usually you see Guile chase after it. Now it's a light boom into Drive Rush, and so you're just getting right in their face, plus frames.
Yeah.
So he has the offense and he has the standard defense as well.
Chun-Li's in a sort of similar kind of playstyle, right? She does have the offensive capabilities of up-close pressure. She's so great. She's one of the few characters that has actual plus frames on her medium button, right? Not every character actually has plus frames on them, but I will say this, her fireball game's still just as mean. And even if she doesn't want to play the fireball game, she could go into the stance and duck it completely. That is a shave and a haircut right above her noggin.
Yeah, and you know what? I made the mistake yesterday. I said that you can't block in her stance, but you absolutely can block in her stance.
If it hits, right?
Yeah, for sure. So there's no reason to be scared in that situation.
That's actually pretty cool. I didn't think the Sonic Cross would actually connect. Granted, it's a post-KO thing.
Yeah, the crouching medium kick normally wouldn't pop someone up, but I'm so jealous of people's reactions, Jeremy.
It's all practice, James. It doesn't matter what age, I promise you.
Oh,
I
yeah, it
promise
doesn't
you.
matter what age, because my reactions were bad when I was 20, too.
That's
so,
fair.
You know,
That's fair.
that's all it is.
Listen, I'm getting right up there, James. Not in age, but slow reactions. I'll tell you what.
Oh, man. That's always the genius part of everything, is that you'll never catch up in age, right? Just percentage-wise.
Sure, for sure.
Get closer over there. So
Overhead, yeah.
And there you see right there, you know, committing to the drive rush right there, it does kind of open you up for those EXs if you have the awareness of it.
You can't crouch cancel any sort of like drive rushes. That's the thing, right? You can't. You'd have to commit to an action. There is like a certain amount of time where eventually you could press like back or something, but it's not going to be within like a short window. Ooh, that was cool.
Dude, Nuckleduck was getting in, just playing great defense awareness of what Myers wants to do with that drive impact timing.
Oh, and you get the stun.
Yeah, when
I was waiting for it. I was like, is it Loop City? Is it going to be Loop City?
Yeah, if you're in burnout mode and you block that drive impact in the corner, dude, they've got like, they can do combos for days at that point. So.
That's one of the coolest things about Guile is that not only do they reward you for being like, having space control, having decent offense, and mostly defense, right? They actually reward you very well if you have the execution for him.
Right.
Overhead?
You're right there. The drive rush mix-up right there, that overhead low. Yeah, see, this is... you know what? I want to say it's his young man reaction, but does Duke count as a young man still? You know, he's a family.
He's a family man now, hence why he's even more in tune with Guile. He actually went home and became a family man. That's true.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, like, I think it just comes with practice over time, right? Initially, when we talked about the beta, a lot of folks on Twitter were like, you know...
Where's the pop-off, Alex? Where's the pop-off now, huh, Alex? Oh, sorry.
That was rude.
Sorry.
I'm not saying that. He's trying to catch the smoke. I'm just a bystander.
Easy to counter drive impacts. Man,
Sort of.
Let me tell you. Okay?
He's gonna do it. I think I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat.
Man.
What if somebody drive rushes then drive impacts you?
It would drive me mad.
That's for sure.
Oh, but as you can see here, Idom, yeah, he has been rocking the jury.
Interesting. Punk had gone for Luke for the warm-up, but I mean, I do like the Jamie that he's showing off time to time, but I really hope he actually goes with Luke for the tournament.
Oh, yeah, he played Luke yesterday.
Okay,
that's what he was playing mostly, and like I said, he actually did manage to beat Idom. After losing the first game, he came back the next two games afterwards, and, you know, it's really fun to watch these two play against each other. Obviously, you know, in terms of NA region, it's Punk or Idom in terms of, like, the greatest Street Fighter players since from start to end, you know? And it's great to watch these two play.
Ooh, you love to see that. That wasn't a drive impact that I went, ooh, anyway.
It's gonna kill.
But anytime you kill, it's not enough. Wait, overhead possibly? No, crouch jab. He thought he was well within range to strike, but no. I mean, just a little bit off from the side of Idom. But I gotta say, man, any sort of whiff punishes that I see in this game is so satisfying.
Oh yeah. And you know what the cool thing about turning it into such an important mechanic is that in a lot of other fighting games, you know, like Street Fighter V, whiff punishing is a very important aspect of the game. But it's not something that's super obvious when you first start playing the game that this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
By turning it into a mechanic that you're rewarded with so much, it really draws attention to that aspect of footsies. And it's one of the three fundamental parts of footsies is whiff punishing. You know, there's this footsies triangle RPS kind of thing that
I can imagine some of the imagery and like everybody that's watching right now, they're like, footsies?
It's that meme, right? With the lady and the math equations and the chalkboard.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
What's going on?
Yeah, there's a bunch of things that go on in the realm of like professional Street Fighter that really is a little intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, once you get exposed to it in general, you're like, oh, I understand the logic behind all of this.
Yeah, and I do want to remind everybody here at the venue here as well. I know you guys all want to watch the action, and I know that it's standing room only right now. But they have asked us to make sure everybody is on the carpet and not on the not in the walkways over there. Apologize.
There's plenty of space right here if you guys want to hang out.
Yeah, get to know your PAX brethrens over here. Okay, you know everybody's family over here. So.
Myers is trying to get real close, I think. He's saying something, I can't hear it. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I can't hear it, but...
Myers is mad at both of us right now.
No, just you, right? That's just Myers.
Just me? Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But going into it, right, I think there's a lot to be said in regards to both of these players and the way they've transferred their skills over from 5 into 6. Like, some of the fundamentals that you acquire in the realm of Street Fighter or even fighting games in general never really leave you.
Right, yeah. And you know, it was interesting because I got a chance to talk with them both on stream yesterday, and I was talking to Punk. Now, obviously, Punk has a long history of Street Fighter 4, but not just that. Punk has also played a bunch of the NRS games. He's played Dragon Ball Fighters and all these other
everything under the sun, yeah.
Right,
same with Idom, too. He's played a handful of the anime fighting games like that all under anything that touches NLBC, Next Level Battle Circuit, whatever hits that venue, he's there playing.
He does well in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, dude, when they play those tournaments there. And so, for them, trying to adapt to a new system, playing a new game is going to be a little bit easier for them. But there's going to be a lot of people who have only played Street Fighter 5, and when they come to Street Fighter 6, it's going to be kind of an interesting transition for them. This happens a lot for players when they only play one game and go to the next one. Street Fighter is known for every game being completely different than the previous series. So a lot of the things that you're going to try to work, I kept trying to shimmy in Street Fighter 6, but the throw ranges are so much farther, and I would just get
trying to bait out a throw in this game is a little bit different this time around in terms of like walk speed and how far like an actual grab happens.
So basically, you know, just as the advice for anyone watching who's trying to get into this game and maybe only has a history with Street Fighter 5, you know, just kind of understand the game is going to be different and learn how to adapt to that and apply the fundamentals that you learned from the previous game to this game.
In more ways than one, too, right? We do see like the fighting game aspect, you know, head to head, a very, very classic Street Fighter thing to witness. But I talk to the people about this all the time. It is now a full-on video game, right? There's a difference between it just being a fighting game, but now with World Tour mode, it is a full-on video game for everybody to enjoy. And along the way, it does teach you how to play. So that's something to look forward to.
You saw in the trailer, they're showing how to do quarter circle forward.
Exactly.
And even if you don't want to, there's modern controls, which is, you know,
it's so good.
Their intention is to make it as competitive, you know, as the traditional controllers. So it's not something that's like a training wheels. It's just literally an alternate way to play the game.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there who are going to play that way, use modern controls, and see how far they can get and see how effective they can be. But I mean, there's three modes, right? There's the Battle Hub, Fighting Grounds, World Tour. We don't even know anything about the Fighting Grounds yet, you know? So
I think this is all we get exposed to, right?
Yeah.
It's just that. It's just like one-on-one so far. I know in like the beta testing they had like the extreme battles. It was the cabinets all the way to the corner where you can play like a different variation. I definitely have played like the bull one. That one actually was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
The two Tesla coils that like electroshock you. That's pretty fun.
And it's so cool too because like one of the modes was like land a throw to get a check mark, and you had like 3 goals. And so now you can see how you play against someone when you're specifically trying to avoid those things. It's just a lot of cool ideas that they have in there, and I'm really excited for that. So there's going to be a lot of cool one-player content, a lot of good ways to help ease you into the fighting game world. Because look, I'll be honest with you, ranked in fighting games is
it is what you choose to be, man.
Tough experience, man.
It can be pretty frustrating. Yeah, I totally understand that. For those that are watching, obviously live as well as on the streams, this is indeed just the warm-ups before the tournament actually happens, right? The players do want to get acquainted with themselves, at least with the characters they're playing, some of the opponents they potentially might be playing. If you are warming up with the player you have to play immediately afterwards, then Godspeed. I don't know what to tell you. If that's how you want to roll, then that's how you want to roll, right?
See, again, this is how it works, right? I mean, a lot of times in fighting, the old school fighting games was always about, you know, saving tech for nationals.
Saving the tech for nationals.
And these days, you can't do that anymore. There's just too much information. Everyone finds everything. Anything you find, someone else is going to find, and it's going to be on YouTube or on Twitter in like 2 hours. And so at that point in time, nowadays, the idea is you give your opponents everything that they need to know to be able to beat you. And if you can still beat them, that means you're just a better player.
We've had that exposed over at Capcom Cup with Ending Walker. He was doing that throughout the entirety of that week, I feel like. He was playing people in like long sets, and he was like, you know, you could actually punish Ed doing this, and this. And